This morning, let's talk about the wheel of disaster. Welcome to Prepper Nation. I am John. Thank you very much for watching, for listening, for shooting a thumbs up and hitting subscribe. It's a red button, they tell me. It's truly appreciated. Also, thank you, Janice Cockrell and Raven Tactical Firearms Training. I had to write that down. Appreciate the coffee this morning and throughout the weekend because y'all are freaking awesome. Quickly, if you're on Patreon or the Coffee Club, today's Friday. So we are having our exclusive, consider this a notification, our exclusive after party live stream. The lobby will be set up and the link will be in the community section here on YouTube for you folks about 30 minutes after this video premiere ends. Okay. So let's talk about this never ending wheel of disaster. I would have talked about this yesterday morning, but honestly, yesterday morning I wasn't feeling great, and I had just woken up to the news of the deal in Maine. So I haven't been connected to the internet or the phone. It's still Faraday and the news and stuff. So I woke up to the news literally, had no idea what was going on, and had a bunch of messages on Patreon. There were posts on Facebook and stuff. I'm like, wow. So it seems like one crisis after another in this country of ours. And again, we're going to be talking about the mass event in Maine. Um, Immediately, and we knew this was going to happen. Any of y'all could have called this right. Immediately after this happened, apparently Democrats started calling for gun reform now. We need gun reform. We need to get these things off the streets. I know Stephen King, who's an excellent author, but we disagree greatly when it comes to politics. I'll just say that. I know he was trending because he was demanding that we get these things off the street. He had put it on Twitter or X or one of the social media deals. Um, the whole thing is, and this is something I've never understood with this gun reform now, or gun control right now. We got to have it right now. Is most of the people that parrot this stuff off, they have no idea what it actually means. They have no idea, no viable plan to actually do anything. It seems to be just a talking point, to be honest with you. I guess there are people out there that, excuse me, are naive enough to believe that if you pass a law, everybody's just going to follow that law, right? But this is not how criminals do things. But again, you're going to have that group of people out there. I don't think politicians believe it. I think they know better. You know, they're thieves, but they're a little bit smarter than that. Save AOC. Um, but there are people out there that are really dumb enough and naive enough to believe, hey, if we pass this and we sign this piece of paper, everybody's just going to stop breaking the law. And again, it doesn't work out that way. Here's the thing, we have approximately 192 million firearms in America legally. 192 million and countless, who knows how many illegal firearms. There are millions, but I don't know the exact number. Don't know if anybody does. I would say it's a safe bet that we have well over 200 million firearms in this country, most of them legal, some of them, of course, the ghost guns and illegal guns and stuff. So I guess my question is, beyond just shouting gun reform now to the left in case they happen to be listening, what is the actual plan? How do you intend to get these 200 million plus guns? Like, what are the logistics that are involved here? You understand? Not just legal gun owners, okay, but again, millions of illegals. Are you going to go to the gang headquarters and knock on the door and show them a piece of paper and say, your governor signed this and we need your guns now? Are we supposed to believe that the criminals are just going to turn them in? The old honor system? You know what I mean? Like criminals, once this thing passes and it's on C-SPAN, the criminals will hand out the burlap sack and they'll just start chucking guns in and stuff. This is not going to happen. Um, America definitely has a mental health epidemic. Almost every single time you see one of these deals, one of these mass events, I'm dancing around the wording a little bit, okay? Every time you have one, you also begin to hear about we have a mental health epidemic in this country, and I believe that we do. But honest, law-abiding citizens getting punished for that, to me, does not sound fair. Doesn't seem fair because law-abiding citizens didn't cause that epidemic. Now you can go all over the place with that. That in itself is a huge topic, right? You can look at the companies that turn out all of this medication and that over medicate people. Mhm. You can get into media and social media and the links to depression and things like this, the way we were treated during the pandemic, just saying. These could be economic woes. This can be people that just need treatment and where they live, there are not enough facilities available, not enough money to go around, whatever the case may be. Um, but see, I look at this from a different perspective. Turning in guns would mean that you are at the complete mercy of your state and local governments and the federal government, right? I mean, that's what it would mean. And there's some countries out there that are in that situation. And again, getting back into the pandemic, and if y'all remember the trucker convoys and things and how those were squashed, I'm looking at Sparkly Socks up in Canada. He really went all tyrant on everybody. And it's not like the Canadian people could do much to fight back. I mean, yeah, there are guns up there, but they're very hard to own. But I digress. The point is, the same crowd, put this into perspective, okay? The same crowd that chants defund the police. You'll say, why do you want to defund the police? Well, we can't trust the police. Police brutality, they're not acting like law-abiding police officers. We need to defund the police. We need to retrain the good ones and all this stuff. That same crowd wants you to rely solely on the police. If an SHTF happens, if you're in a local China Mart, Walmart, Target, God forbid, Dollar General, whatever, and something goes down, this same crowd wants you to rely on these same police officers that they are trying to defund because, again, you can't trust them. So, which is it? I mean, it really seems like this group, and I am picking on this group. I was getting ready to say I'm not picking on this group, but I am picking on this group because it's stupid. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Can we trust the police? Right? Or do we need to defund the police? And as you have shown us in the past through all of your mostly peaceful protests and things, we can't trust the police. This is not my narrative. Okay. This is the extreme left. They're saying you can't trust the police. So why are we, law abiding Americans who have done nothing wrong, why are we supposed to turn in all of our means of self defense and trust the police, the same ones that you hate? It makes no sense. I mean, it really doesn't. You want to know who's behind the most gun crimes here in the United States? Our own government. We talk about it all of the time. This military industrial complex, this war machine that never seems to stop. We go into different regions of the world. We completely gut what they had there through the use of force, and then we spend tons of money to nation build. Um, our own government, they are the biggest offender when it comes to gun crimes. Yet somehow, our own government, who is guilty of this, they want to sit on a pulpit up here and preach down to us and tell us what we are allowed to have and what we are not allowed to have. You see, I thought the Second Amendment's pretty cut and dry. I mean, I've heard the argument, well, it's only intended for a militia, and but the thing is, when you get involved with the militia, you're flagged as an extremist and as a bad person. So again, I don't understand. These groups talk out of both sides of their mouth because they're ignorant for the most part, because also I think they have no real plan to solve the gun violence. Um, I mean, look, if someone out there has the fix, drop it in chat, drop it in the comments. If you know the perfect fix for this, drop it because I don't know the perfect fix for this, but I know turning in our guns is not the fix. That is not what we need to be doing right now here in the United States of America. One of the reasons that the United States of America, the continental US, has not already been invaded by another force, an outside country, is because we have so many guns. Behind every blade of grass, as some of you say. So if we turn everything in, we're defenseless and we're supposed to trust the police who are understaffed and again need to be defunded because they're really bad. And we're supposed to trust the military who has extreme recruitment shortfalls. I mean, the whole thing just makes no sense. This event will drive sales up, though. Actually, it's going to drive the sales of guns and ammunition up. Usually does because people that are seeing this in the media and this back and forth, we got to ban them. We need gun reform now, whatever that means. This back and forth, what happens is a lot of times law abiding citizens, they will go out and they kind of get this better get them while I can mentality. And this causes, of course, prices to go up on guns and ammunition. So if you've been stacking ammunition and you have several guns, good on you because you've just saved yourself some money. Everybody else, if you're just now getting into stacking, probably going to be paying a lot more. We'll hear outrage over this for the next few days. A constant back and forth on social media. I hate social media for this reason. People are they're always arguing, they're always fighting. Nothing ever really gets accomplished. Twitter's the worst. I got to be honest with you. It's a black hole of hate. Um, and again, one of the many reasons that I'm pulling away as much as possible from being connected online and stuff. And the other is I want to hang out with my kids more before they go to college. But anyway, I digress. The point is, you're going to hear this outrage for the next several days, this back and forth. And then the wheel of disaster will spin again. Like wheel of fortune, but wheel of disaster, and there's shiny things on every spot, and we have no idea where it's gonna land next. You know, are we gonna see a reemergence of the C-19 maybe? Are we gonna see something going down in Taiwan? Are we gonna see an even bigger deployment to the Middle East, or are our forces gonna be attacked even further in the Middle East? Something like this. But it's gonna spin again because fear and intimidation are the weapons of globalists. They rely on this fear and intimidation and this constant shiny thing to execute agendas. So the advice this morning is control what you can control. Be informed, but do not be overwhelmed by the news because as we were talking about earlier this week, it can happen. All right, control what you can control. You're gonna see a lot of on the left, they're going to play to sympathy. They're going to show you all of the victims. They're going to show you baby pictures of the victims. On the right, You're gonna hear a lot of talk about the Constitution and why we need the Second Amendment. It's just this constant back and forth, but there's not a lot you can do about it. Control what you can control. Stack and grow what you can stack and grow. Take care of your little corner of the world, so to speak. And please, whatever you do, hang on to your guns. Don't turn these things in, folks. Don't do it. Y'all, it's been John with Prepper Nation. Y'all take care and God bless.